Hi everyone, welcome to the shack for this weekend update. And as you can see, the weather today is fairly rubbish. It's not very cold, it's reasonably mild, cloudy, spots of rain. Before today, it's literally been raining on and off continually for a few days now. So we've gone from some really lovely hot weather to this week, absolutely terrible wet weather. The good news, I suppose, is that in that case you don't have to worry about watering your RF earth, which I haven't, but I was in the dry weather. I was watering the RF earth nearly every time I used the radio, it was so dry. Yeah, today it's cloudy and not very nice, but no worries, just another reason to get in the shack and stay there. So this weekend I'm doing a bit of FT8 again, and the reason for that is well, I'm using the 991 as usual, 50 megahertz, because I got a text message from Andy G1ZMA telling me that 6 meters there were stations literally booming in. Because I wasn't actually doing any FT8 today, so I wasn't actually doing anything on the radio today. So anyway, so I booted up the 991, opened up WSJTX, and started transmitting. And it was a bit quiet at first, but I've managed to work Echo Alpha 5 Whiskey Oscar, Spain. Echo Alpha 2 Charlie Yankee Juliet, Spain. Echo Charlie 1 Delta, which I assume is Spain. Well, it is Spain, but interesting call. So there you go. And I'm still calling CQ now. And on PSK Reporter, as you can see, it's quite a familiar kind of spread of D codes from up into Scandinavia, down into the Canaries. A lot of Spanish stations coming in this afternoon into Eastern Europe. Nothing from Italy, which is sort of fairly unusual. But what was interesting was that Andy he texted me a screen dump of his PSK Reporter map, and he has been decoded on 6 in North America on the eastern seaboard, of course. And that reminded me that that my friend Jeffrey, Mike 0 Uniform Hotel Fox, he was doing FT8 on 4 and 6 yesterday, and I looked at his 6 meter map, and he too had been decoded in North America, and which is great for them. I have not, as far as I can remember, ever have been decoded in North America. I can't remember. So that would be nice. I'm not sure what's going to happen today. Conditions on 6, they just literally go up and down all day long. You go from like very few calls, lots of stations being decoded, to a lot of activity, a lot of CQ calls, and then they just sort of fade away again. So I'm calling CQ now, and hoping that someone's going to answer again and work a few more stations. But it would also be nice to be decoded in North America, even if the chances of actually working a station are sort of remote. My setup is the same as usual. It's the 991, FT991, and I'm transmitting into my end-fed wire, and I'm using 75 watts. And as you can see, I've got a pretty good match, bearing in mind that this is an MFJ 949E designed to match circuits up to 30 megahertz. So, but just goes to show, and it works okay. I'm just trying to think what my actual DX is, and I need to pull up the log on WSJTX and have a look, because I've only been doing 6 meters fairly recently, and I could easily look there and see what is up to now the furthest distance station that I've worked. So I'll have a look later. But anyway, I'm going to run FT8 on 6 meters today, the rest of the day, see what happens. I've got to stop temporarily because in about 25 minutes I've got to chair the Harwell Amateur Radio Society 2-meter simplex net, which will probably take at least, well, it depends how many people join. If only a few people join, it sometimes only takes an hour, but if there's plenty of people on, it can go on for a good couple of hours or longer. So I'll do that today, and then tomorrow is the GB3DI net on 70 SEM, so I'll probably be around to do that as well. And Jack runs that net, or at least he does when he's around. So something to do today, something to do tomorrow. The other thing I've got to do is I've got to start authoring this article featuring the Tecsun PL380 and the 330 and a couple of other receivers. Haven't got around to doing it yet. In fact, Georg, the very nice chap, the editor of Radio User Magazine, wrote to me and asked me when I thought the article might be ready. So I'm sort of going to try and target finishing it by the middle of next month. So basically about 4 weeks from now. Couple of at least one of the radios we wanted to include in this article. Struggling to get hold of a sort of a unit to borrow, so I might have to sort of feed a few of my own receivers into this, which is fine. I'll do that, and then I just need to sort of knuckle down and get on with it, really. So there you go. The other thing that I've been looking at is. I was looking at the SWLing post, as I'm sure many of you do, and I saw this, that the International Radio Report reviews the Tecsun H501x. I didn't actually know what that International Radio Report actually was until I realised it's basically a kind of video. It's a YouTube channel actually, and it features Gilles from official SWL YouTube channel and Sheldon Harvey, and this is a half-an-hour video, and it covers the H501x in quite a lot of detail. It's quite interesting actually, and some of the points that I like about it are that it's a large radio. So this isn't like your typical. This isn't your sort of standard sort of portable. This is a radio that's big enough to kind of comfortably sit on your desk. So I like the form factor of it. It's sort of reminiscent of some of the Sony portables from the 80s and 90s, I suppose. I guess part of the reason it's large is because obviously it's got dual speakers, so stereo on FM, and I like the way it's designed, the aesthetics. Obviously similar to like the PL880 and the 990. It's sort of very sort of Grundig-esque late 80s, early 90s styling, really, which I really like. And I like the fact, as I said, that it's a sort of bigger radio. So yeah, this was one. This and the potentially the re-engineered Eaton E1 were the two portable radios that I was actually interested in buying. So and it looks now as if this one is actually available. There's two versions, as explained by the guys. There's the H501, which is basically designed for the Chinese market, so would be shipped with a Chinese manual and possibly some Chinese markings on the radio itself. The X version, 51X, X refers to export, so this is the version of the radio that is designed to be exported to the rest of the world, and now it seems it is actually available. I think I'm going to have to get one and hope in the meantime that Eaton sort themselves out and manage to re-engineer the E1, because that's again another radio I'll definitely be buying. According to the guys, the best place to buy it is from Anonco. It's available there for $298, and if you are seriously thinking about buying one of these radios, be careful, because we've seen it advertised in excess of $900. So there's a huge amount of variation in terms of what people are trying to charge this radio, and obviously it's not a $900 radio. $300 would seem about right. My only other comments, I suppose, would be that part of the reason for being interested in this radio is because of the form factor. Like I said, it's a larger radio with twin speakers, etc. It's a sort of substantial kind of object, but fundamentally, is it going to receive more? So is it going to be more sensitive than the other Tecsun radios in their sort of portable radio stable? So, and is it going to be more selective? So that remains to be seen. So I would personally be surprised if it was more sensitive or more selective than the 880, for example, or the 990 for that matter. I wouldn't mind betting it might even be the same sort of receiver, but obviously with very sort of different exterior sort of design. But nevertheless, it's different enough, I think, to warrant my interest. So it's not so big actually that it's not a radio that I wouldn't take away with me on a trip whenever I manage to get traveling again. So definitely of interest, and good to know that it's finally available. So thanks to Thomas and SWLing Post for posting that interesting video, which I've now shared with you guys. So yeah, this and the re-engineered Eaton E1. I mean, these are the radios that in my opinion, you know, you go out and buy them basically. So let's see what happens. So no more. While I've been talking to you, I'm still running 6 meters on FT8, and as I said, conditions change so quickly. We've gone from quite a lot of activity here, made 3 contacts in short succession, and then nothing at all. So that's how the cookie crumbles on 50 megahertz. And just looking at my PSK reporter map, it's filling out a little bit, but you can see the trend there. So so there you go. Well, I suppose I better draw a line under everything there, as I have got to get ready for the 2 meter simplex net. It's been, yeah, I've been so busy the last couple of weeks. I haven't really done much other radio other than the sort of the odd net, and I haven't done a lot of DXing. Problem when you work for a company that operates in 3 continents, from the United States to here, to the UK, and then to Brisbane, Australia, is that you're working across so many time zones. You end up, you know, we have Zoom calls at any time from sort of 7:30 in the morning to those that start at like 9:30 p.m. So and although those calls per se don't stop me being up late listening to the radio, because when I'm going to do that, I'm going to be up until the early hours, you kind of just don't feel, you know, awake enough, or, you know, too tired to sit in the shack until the early hours DXing when you've been working on and off since 7:30 that morning, and still on the go, you know, on a call that starts at 9:30 and might finish after 11. I mean, that kind of stuff is just happening to me at the moment. So there haven't been as many videos posted lately. I do have a backlog though, so it's not that I'm going to run out of videos anytime soon, but I always record more videos than I upload. So the rate at which I record is certainly a bit higher than the rate at which I publish. So there's always a backlog of a few videos to keep me going. At some point I'll record some more, but I haven't recorded that many recently with regard to amateur radio. I used to sort of like regularly record the HF skeds, etc. Make some recordings. I might do that actually at some point, but yeah, in the meantime it's just a case of balancing work, life and radio. So FT8 is perfect for that, because you can basically do whatever you want and just leave it running. It just requires the odd click of the mouse button every now and then. So so there you go. At the moment, only an English station's coming in, 2 Echo Zero Whiskey Hotel Quebec. So there you go. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I wish you all a great weekend, a good DX. Listen to the radio, keep the comments coming in. I'm still trying my best to answer them, and I'll you know, no doubt I'll speak to some of you via those comments on YouTube. So with that, I'll wish you all 73, have a good weekend, and thanks for watching.